You're watching UMAMI.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Working on a series, my new series, which episodes are taking a long time to come out. But I'm taking my time with this series, you know, I don't want to rush it. And I just finished Interface. I'm not in like a rush to like pumping out episodes right away, you know? So been working on this kind of slowly, and I've been doing some weird side projects, you know, the Jerry expansion stuff and all that kind of fun stuff. Kind of still stressed out about my vinyls there because they arrived, the blue ones arrived, and the posters didn't come with the posters, so still waiting on that. I'm sorry for people who ordered because it's taking so long, but they're coming soon. Still, post is supposed to show up this week. That's what they say, but I don't really trust anybody anymore. So yeah, they promised me a lot of things. So hey, Tony Two Nukes. Okay, well, I'm happy you got the VHS tape, man. Thank you for ordering it. And Samuel underlined, undying. Interface cameras, hey? Oh, okay, that's good. You got one of those canvases, that's cool. So here I'm drawing a, well, I don't think you've seen it yet, but Smear has a Cadillac for some reason, and that's what he uses to drive around. So I've been drawing this Cadillac in like all sorts of different angles already, and this is just another one of them. Will there be more Mr. Greetings? There will be, you know, but it might be a long time before we see him again. Like, I was looking at it, like last time I hired Philip Hirsch to do the voice acting for his character before, like, you know, it's usually like 6 months in between each time because it takes so long for me to come out with these more in-depth episodes now. But he'll probably be back. I don't know in what capacity yet, you know, because it's basically gave Smear a mission, and so Smear has to go out and start doing some work. And I think I think this first episode is going to come as a little bit of a surprise because you might be expecting it something different than what's actually going to happen. Well, you'll see. I don't know when it's come out, but I don't know. It could be a month, maybe a little bit longer. I'm yeah. Will there be more soup? There will be more soup. I'd have started one. You know, I think I can't like force myself to work on some stuff some reason. So like if I'm just not feeling it, it won't get done right away. But I do have a soup video in mind. It's gonna take a bit of time because I've kind of been I've been working on a few other things, you know, and the soup son will be back though, yeah. Hey man, where'd you get the inspiration for Gulab? Thanks. Gulab, sorry. Stefan Biazzo. Okay, I'll tell you this story because it's kind of funny, I guess. Before I go into... Hey, Tony Tunix, thank you for the super chat. That's really generous of you. Your art inspires me to continue working in animation. I serve full-time in the U.S. military, but my true passion is my art and game design. I tell most everyone I know of your work, and I listen to your music daily. Your inspiration to me. Hey, Tony Tunix, I really appreciate that comment. That really does mean a lot to me. And, you know, I'm fortunate enough that I can do this full-time, you know, and sometimes I gotta count my blessings that I don't have a more difficult job at the moment, you know, like working in the U.S. military or whatever it was I was doing before, you know. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so what I was saying about gulab, the inspiration for gulab jamun, or gulab jamun. So I'm like half Indian, like my mother is from India, and actually I'm supposed to be visiting India like this month, but my visa has not come through yet. But anyways, so in India there's a sweet, like a kind of a dessert called gulab jamun, or gulab jamun. Let's see if I can. Gulab. It kind of looks like, probably gonna offend some Indian people here, but it kind of looks like a soggy Timbit, like a Timbit. If you know what a Timbit is, it's like the center of a donut that we have in Canada. It's kind of looks like a donut without the sugar on top. It's very it's got like a sweet taste to it. Anyway, so my dad has this kind of running joke where he would say if he ever ate anything that he didn't like, you know, my dad's kind of like he doesn't like eating vegetables and stuff. So anyway, so if there's like a weird sweet or something, if there's like a cake that's like wet or something, and someone's trying to give him some dessert or something, he'll be like, oh, kind of tastes like gulab jamun or gulab jamun, right? And well, anyway, so before the pandemic, my family and I decided to go on a vacation for about a week, and I went down to Cuba. And the thing about Cuba is it's like, as a tourist, you can't, I mean, you enjoy yourself, but it's like hard to like kind of enjoy yourself because, you know, like everyone working there is so poor, but at the same time they appreciate you coming because they're like 90% of their industry is tourism. If it wasn't for the tourists, they wouldn't have anything, right? Like, so it's a communist country too, so it's really kind of, it's weird, man. It's like you ever play the game Tropico? It's kind of like that. It's like billboards of Che Guevara and like fucking, and what's his name there? The other guy, can't think of his name for some reason. Anyway, they had this dessert that was kind of like a wet thing that I don't know what it was. It was kind of strange. I tasted it. I was like, what? I don't know what that is really. My dad started complaining, calling it gulab jamun. And I don't really know why, like, we just started saying it funny, oh, it looks like you got some gulab there, like, on your plate or whatever, like, I don't know, it's just a stupid joke. And we got back from the trip, and I was drawing this character with the long legs, right? You know how Gulab Jamun looks. I forget, like, kind of like he sits with his big knees and stuff. We just decided to call him Gulab Jamun, kind of as an inside joke for my dad, and that's pretty much it. There's not really much else to it. It's just kind of a funny word. And feeding it in Gulab's voice, which Carolina does the voice. Gulab Jamun. I don't know. I just there's kind of like a trope in animation where you have a character that says one thing only. Like, you know, what's that guy from that Galaxy Invader movie? Whatever the fuck his name is. The wood guy. Made out of he's like a tree. Groot. You know, it's like he says Groot a lot. You know, it's kind of like that, but with Gulab Jamun. Man, I'm really going on about this Gulab Jamun story. It's not really that interesting. I have to drink my coffee. Yeah, so there's that. Hey, Julia, genuine, proud owner of my one of your VHS copies. Hey, thanks. Thank you very much. Second batch is coming very soon, I think. Thank you for everyone who ordered. And you know, if there is any problems with your VHS tapes, like there's no audio or something or whatever, something about it, just send me an email. I'll send you a new one. Like, because I have to send a couple new ones out. It's not exactly easy making VHS tapes. It's like an old technology, so you know, I did test a few of them, but I can't test all 200 of them. So you know, assuming that most of them work, I'm having a company make them for me. But there are, you know, once in a while there might be a few duds out there. But anyway, and I'll also send you a new one free of charge, of course, if anything like that happens. Okay. I'm doing some game development in Godot. Thanks for keeping me company. Hey. Yeah, man. I mean, that's part of the reason why I do these live streams is because you guys keep me company. Because, you know, otherwise I'm just sitting in my room with no windows. I mean, I have a window. It's a skylight, though. I don't know if that counts. Anyway, so I'm drawing this car out. It's pretty simple. I'm just tracing it. I bought this 3D model of a Cadillac off of one of those 3D sites, and now I just use it for a reference. Because you know, I was looking up cars like on Google Images, like royalty-free stock photos or whatever, and to like trace over, but they would never have the right angles that I wanted, and so I figured the easiest way is to find a 3D model of a car I want to use, and then whatever angle it is I want, I can just position it, take a screenshot, you know. Because I don't want to actually use the 3D model. After interface, I decided to pretty much reduce my 3D stuff to pretty much like zero. Like, I don't like doing 3D stuff. And the end of interface, there was a lot of 3D stuff, and it was expensive too, because you know, like that baby blimp character that was running around and stuff. I basically had to hire someone who does like professional, like Pixar style animation that can like do all the, you know, Zadok was an amazing person who donated his time to create the model for the baby blimp. That was awesome. But then I had to hire someone to do the actual animation, because I tried doing it and rigging and that stuff. I can't do that. It's not for me. Basically, the model just exploded. There were some videos on my Twitter account, I think, when I was trying to like do stuff, and it was just. So one of my old live streams, like from years ago, I tried to model the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and basically just looks like an Oreo that got stomped on. And I think someone took pity on me in the stream, and they just like decided to make the model and send me the model after watching my abomination. So I'm not 3D. I'm not a 3D person, you know. I specialize in music and drawing, sort of, but not 3D is not my thing, you know. It's like really math heavy. I'm not really great at math when it comes to like verbs and, you know, all that kind of more technical stuff. It's just, I could learn it, but I've decided that at a certain point you want to put the skills that you know forward, and you know I could keep learning and learn something else, but I don't want to get into 3D, you know. Aesthetically, I kind of just like the way the 2D stuff, drawing stuff looks more than doing the 3D anyway, so it's more kind of like expressive, you know. The 3D stuff kind of looks a little bit sterile sometimes. Maggie. World was a mistake. That being said, thanks for making it more bearable to exist here and with your artworks and frequent casual live streams. Hey Maggie, well thank you very much for that, and for the comments. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, and Ash, yeah, thank you for reminding me. We're about to hit 300,000 subscribers. Maybe this week, or maybe today. I don't know. If anyone's watching right now and it's not subscribed, you know, what's up with that? I think we got like maybe 500 people left, so I'm not gonna do like a bonus video for it or anything. I've got too much other stuff I have to do. I'll probably do a bonus video if I ever hit 1 million subscribers, but that might be several years from now, based on how the algorithm wants to show my videos to people. But and I'm not really too worried about it, you know. I'm doing fine, you know. And oh, and I got some good film festival news, which I can't announce yet, but I should be able to announce next week, I think. So that's some cool stuff happening in the background. Submitted interface to about 13 or so film festivals. I'm starting to hear back now. It got rejected from like 3 or 2 of them that I wasn't really expecting it to get in anyway, because they're, you know, a lot of film festivals have these rules about your stuff being online, but some of them don't. So hey, Lucky Knight, listen, man, listen, that I don't need it. I appreciate the donations, but I don't need them at all, really. So you don't need to super chat me. You know, sometimes I just turn it off because, you know, especially you guys over in Russia, like, for some reason, man, you know, the situation sucks, but I know it's not the Russian people, it's the Russian government, you know, and there's nothing, you know, there's nothing to be done about this shitty situation other than observe it. I can't really do anything, you know. Some of the overreaction that's happening here is a little bit insane. There's like people pouring out their vodka like that's going to do anything, and then there's the Montreal Symphony Orchestra recently announced that this Russian prodigy that plays piano, they're like canceling his performance, like he has anything to do with the friggin' war, you know. And he actually came out and said he was against it. So, you know, I don't know why there's this kind of like punishment of Russian citizens when a good percentage of the population is against the war and they have nothing to do with it, you know. I don't know. It really sucks, man. But I hope the situation for you gets better and Russia does not become too isolated, because it's really a massive piece of land that and a lot of people it's going to affect, you know. Yeah, I'm not going to get involved in the politics of it because there's a lot of shit on both sides, and it's just fucking. You can watch the news for that stuff. You don't need to watch my live stream. I don't even know what the hell is going on really half the time. I just watch it and react. I've got to send some of my vinyls out to Russia, though. I don't even know if they're going to arrive. You know, there's all these sanctions going on now. If there are any Russians that order, you know, vinyls and want a refund, just let me know. It's not a problem. It's been taking so long to freaking come out. Anyway. I always wondered how you do the 3D scenes, especially starting to do my own animations in Photoshop. Use my own works. Onion. Oh my god. Is my stream still working? I was cutting in and out there. I think I'm good now. So I don't really do 3D stuff, and little 3D stuff that I did, I used SketchUp, which I believe is kind of becoming an obsolete program now. So if you are going to do 3D stuff, I think you should learn Blender. Although I think in SketchUp it is easier to do simple 2D, simple boxy kind of designs and stuff. You know, in episode 23 of Interface, where he's in that Giorgio Chicaro painting, I did the model in 3D. This whole thing is done in SketchUp, and then I imported it into Cinema 4D. And then this octopus model is a model that I purchased and imported. And the cube, obviously, I just made the cube. It's very easy to make cubes. These kind of like this building here, I did this all in SketchUp, which it's pretty easy to do in SketchUp. What other 3D stuff is there? Oh yeah, and so the grass here in this shot, this was done in Cinema 4D. And it took me forever, man, to figure out how to get the grass to like work properly, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time, right? And if you can see here, there's actually like soil as well, and the soil has a texture to it, and you know, and having to place her in the shot was like, I had to like render the background grass separately from the foreground grass and composite it all in After Effects. The house back there is not 3D, it's just a 2D image that I drew and placed it on a plane. And the train, like some of the train stuff, okay, so the train, like this shot for instance, is a 3D model that I projection mapped my own drawings onto, and then I used the lighting to it's kind of, it's kind of complicated, but you know, basically those shots, they look cool, but I'm not like it, the amount of work that I put into these shots versus the like the time, the work/time balance was off. You know, I think I spent like 2 weeks on like one shot, so it wasn't very effective for me as a one-person team, you know, or two-person. You know, Carolina helps me out animating sometimes. Do you draw on a Wacom screen? I just draw on one of like the regular tablets. Doesn't have a screen, just a black thing. Because it's just I don't really need to see the screen. Like I got used to drawing it on the. Is that Zuck on the bottom right there? Yes, this is Mark Zuckerberg. He pops in once in a while. I put him in my puzzle, which are supposed to be shipping like the 16th of March for those who have ordered the puzzles. And we have the soups on here. He's kind of like merging from the bowl and burying hands. Kind of minor characters in my animations. Where can I find your works if YouTube is blocked in my country? You can find my animations on Odyssey. So that's spelled ODYSEE.com. And it's basically, just type in like UMAMI on there, you'll find my channel. And what Odyssey does is it mirrors all my videos onto this platform. It's basically a competitor to YouTube, or they're trying to be. So if YouTube ends up being blocked, you could probably find my stuff on Odyssey. You know. Unless they block Odyssey, which it's unlikely in my opinion. A lot of times they just block the most popular thing. And they don't actually want to restrict people too much, but there's always like a way around it, you know? Hey, the Adonis, what's going on, dude? Is that Mark before or after he joins the metaverse? I think that's before the metaverse. I drew it before the metaverse because, you know, here's the thing. I was, you know, if I really spent the time to think about what Mark Zuckerberg was doing, I might have been able to predict the metaverse was going to happen before it happened. And so I made that video about about the VR with Mark Zuckerberg, right? And strangely, I made that like a year before he announced the metaverse. And it's because I was watching all his like corporate talks, right? Because I was like looking for content, basically. I was looking for like funny stuff. Because, you know, when he live streamed himself barbecuing meats that one time, it was like comedy gold, right? And so, you know, eventually he'll have another moment of comedy gold. He's just got to follow his videos on his Facebook page, right? And I don't have Facebook anymore, but I think I used a dummy account to log in, and I just looked at his stuff. Anyways, so he was going on and on about VR and how bringing people together and town squares and shit, and like kind of strange, you know. Like I thought that he would do it in Facebook, you know, make like a phone call button or something, or like a meetup, like a Zoom button, you know, in Facebook. I didn't think he would change the name of Facebook to Metaverse and then make this like really dystopian 3D kind of video game thing that looks like a nightmare to moderate. I mean, can you only imagine what kind of like I don't know, like, well, there's kids on there, right? So you got kids and you got friggin' weirdos on there talking to kids, and I don't know, man. I'm just like, why do you want to do this to yourself, man? Like, no one, like, you know, especially after especially after COVID's over, you know, like people want to go outside. They want to like They want to interact with people in real life. Like, the last thing they want to do is fucking sit on their computer even more and talk to each other through a... Maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe people do want to do that stuff. I don't know. I don't personally. I'm going a little bit stir crazy over here. You know. I think one of the few things that keeps me sane is that I'm taking drum classes. So I get out of the house once in a while, I'll go practice drums. I encourage everyone to do something like that. If you find that you're spending too much time online, just try to find something physical you can do, and try to do it once a week. Whether that's going to the gym or I mean, I do that too, but I don't do it once a week. I try to go once a week. So I don't have enough time sometimes. That's a lie. I spend too much time playing video games too. Okay. I may land a job as a motion designer. Any useful tips on After Effects before the interview? Any useful tips before on After Effects? Oh man, that's hard to say, man, because I'm not really like, if I don't know what I'm doing, I just Google it. And 9 times out of 10, someone already figured it out for me. So, I don't know, man. I don't really have any tips for you in terms of After Effects. I would just say, if you ever come to a situation where you don't know anything, you just look it up and you figure it out. And it means that you can function independently as an animator. You're always learning, and you're not afraid to learn something new if it needs to be done, right? I guess I used to do some After Effects stuff back in the day, and like motion design kind of stuff, and I realized that's not really for me because I can't. It's very it's kind of like 3D stuff, even though it's 2D. It's motion design is kind of like equations, and everything looks precise and stuff. And all right, there's my car. Here's. I'm not really like an After Effects expert, so I just do the few basic things I know, and I guess I've been using it for a long time now, though. Okay, Peter. Do you do? Oh, sorry, I think I can't find. Oh, Peter. Do you do any traditional art? I do some traditional art. Well, not so much anymore. I mean, I do some paintings. Once in a while, I got some paintings. I made this is I don't know if you can see it because the screen it's all like alias. I made the album art for the back of the vinyls, and I got a few other paintings here. Painting. And it's a guy that's got like a spray paint on his mouth. I don't do them very often. I was doing some tests recently. Let's see if I can stick around. I'll show you a few paintings I did recently that I didn't put them on my website or anything, but I don't know, I got stuff like this. It's just, I don't know, I just do it for fun, like, just kind of messing around. Acrylic paints on paper, So. the kind of stuff I've been doing. I have, I made more paintings back in the day. I'd say like 5, 10 years ago. Uh, Chris Lee Woo, has Adult Swim ever approached you for any? They have. I've done 4 commissions for Adult Swim, like back in 2019, and maybe someday I'll do more. But I get asked this question a lot actually on my stream, and the reason why I don't do more of them is just because I'd rather keep the rights to my work, whatever it is that I make. And when you do a commission, basically, like I made 4 animations, but now Adult Swim owns them. They own the animations. They don't own the characters, but they own the animations. And so it just, I don't know, like I just feel like there's value in retaining the rights to my work. So I just keep making them for myself. Like I don't really need the commission money, so I just, that's all. The hardest thing for me, I find, as an animator is scale. So if I really need to branch out and hire some animators to work with, because if I were to do something bigger, like a pilot or pitch something to someone, I really can't just be sitting here doing it all by myself. I need a team. And that's kind of one of my failures as an animator, is being able to find a sorry, I have to kind of do spoilers here. I need to look at reference shots. Okay, it's just the back of it. It's red, it's black, I think. And that, I feel like if I were able to produce stuff more frequently with a team, not only will you guys have more stuff to watch, but it would just be a little bit more, rather than you waiting like 2 months, for something to come out. How's your Dave Van Cowboy drum cover going? Any chance we can hear it sometime? Okay, so I got like the first, so there's like this kind of like a hi-hat part at the beginning where it goes, well, I can't really do it but anyways, where the part where he goes crazy with the drums, like the very beginning there, I managed to get that, and then that's in itself is really difficult because I've only been learning the drums for like a year and a half, and I think I bit off more than I can chew. So it's going. Like I was actually practicing it today, but it's slow. I'm probably gonna take me, I don't know, maybe a couple of years before I can actually play that song. Like I can play some songs like Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I can play that one now. I can play a few other songs. There's this Daft Punk song, Better, Faster, Stronger, or whatever. I think I can play that one pretty well. Which that was a kind of tricky song too, because it's kind of an electric song. Anyway. Is there any albums or songs that have directly impacted you and/or inspired you greatly? Bougie Melon. Yes, there is. I can show you a few right now on Spotify. So I'm playing my own music now on Spotify. I can't play anything else for copyright and stuff, but I got a playlist in here called Enjoyable Sounds, and I will share the link with you and paste it in the chat. How the hell do you do that? I don't even think I can. Here, I'll have to go to YouTube. Hold on. I'm not really good at live streaming, as you guys can tell. There you go. So there's a Spotify link there. And so there's a whole bunch of music in here that I like to listen to. Basically, this playlist has 360 songs in it, so 29 hours of music. You can just kind of all this stuff has influenced me in some way or another. And if there's one album that isn't on here, it's because it's not on Spotify, and it is the soundtrack to The Straight Story by Angelo Badalamenti, who works with David Lynch. That's a really good album. And I got some Violet Red Sun music in here too. I bought off of his Bandcamp a while ago. Hey, ENF, thank you for the comment there. Do you use EB Synth to assist these 3D frames? No, I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I don't think it would. I don't think it keeps the pixels sharp. I think it would blur the pixels. And so the only way I could get around that would be to only do black and white animations, run it through EB Synth, and then bring it back into After Effects, put a threshold on it, or something like that. So I don't use EB Synth. Now the reason why I'm coloring this car green is because I'm using it as a base coat, and then I'm going to go over it with white to give it some kind of texture, so it's not just a flat color. And I'll show you what I mean. It looks better when I do that. Just looks a little bit more pleasing. Style of safe mode is a little bit more graphical looking than interface. Interface is kind of more like a cartoon that's pixelated, but I want safe mode to kind of have its own kind of look to it that's a little bit different, a little bit more textured and stuff. So spending more time with the actual shots, and that's why it's taking longer. It's because some of the stuff like doing this, like rather than just filling it in white, I'm going to kind of colored in like I was doing a coloring book or something, you know. And if you go in the direction of the lines, you keep the direction of the form of the object, you kind of retain some of the kind of the shape of the car, rather than me just going in like coloring it in like this, you know, against the direction of it. If you color in within the angle of whatever it is, it just makes it look nicer, like aesthetically looks nicer. So do you write your own scripts for interface animations? Yes, so I do all the scripts. You know, I don't really, you know, I don't work with like traditional other animators. They'll do the script first. They'll write the script out first. I don't really do that. Usually I make the music first, and then I start drawing stuff, and then the script, I will start thinking about what I want to happen in the scene, and then I will write the script to fit the music. And it's kind of a strange way of working, because you can't really, it's hard for you to like piece together a complex plot that way. But that's basically how I did Interface, with some exceptions. Sometimes I would be like, okay, well, I need this to happen in this episode at least, you know, before I made the music. But for me to just sit down and write a script, like, I'm not very good at doing that. I kind of want to just get started making the fun stuff. So I just make the music, and I just go by whatever is most fun to do, you know. For me, it's not really writing scripts. So sometimes the lines that I come up with are written almost after everything is done, because when I do the mouth animations, I save that for last. So basically I have a shot of a character, and I know they're going to say something, and I know what it is that they want to say, but I don't quite know exactly what it is that they say, you know. And so I guess about halfway through an episode, I will write it out in a script, just so that it's there. And I use a software called Fade In for Mac. It's like, I think it's like $50 or whatever. But it's a good screenwriting software. So I do that, and I write out the script. And then the benefit to doing that is you'll come back to your script, you write it out, right? And then a couple days later, come back to the script and then reread what you wrote. And you're going to want to change a whole bunch of stuff, because a lot of it ends up being cringy, or you just don't think it's very good or insightful or whatever. And so, you know, usually your scripts have about 10, 12 revisions before it starts getting anywhere good, you know? Your music is unofficial soundtrack of Eastern Europe for me. I somehow perfectly fits the scenery and the post-socialist cities with abandoned buildings. And yeah, man, I can kind of see that. It's kind of like my music kind of has this like melancholy and kind of sort of like dystopian-ish kind of feel to it for some reason. And, I don't really know why that is. I don't like intentionally make my music sound that way. It's just kind of just the music I like to listen to. And a lot of the music in the playlist that I posted kind of has that same sort of feel to it. I'm not really sure why that is, though, you know. Just something that happens. Like I can't really, you know, weird, like, you know, C major, supposedly like marching band music, you know. Uh, but I can use those keys to make something that doesn't quite sound to uh, so it can sound a little bit more melancholic than it should be, I guess, you know. I guess because technically C major is like E minor, isn't it? Or is it? I don't remember. Man, I'm not really good at this music theory stuff, so I'm not the right person to ask. Half-Life 2, yeah. Well, okay, so I'll tell you who inspired me to really get into making music. Um, there is a composer known as Jesper Kid, and you know, back in the day, I would play these video games called Hitman 1 and 2 and 3, whatever, and Hitman Blood Money were the good games, and Jesper Kid is a video game composer, and I don't know, man. Like these guys get like a bad rap for some reason because it's like they're like video game composers. And they're not as good as real composers, but I mean that's not my opinion. I think they're just as good. It's just they don't seem to reach an audience that is more broad, I guess, because of the fact that they made the soundtracks for video games. Anyways, I really like the music that he made in all those games, and some of them feature live orchestras as well. I think once they got a budget after the second Hitman game, they started. He started composing for orchestras and stuff. The first one he made, the first Hitman game, was kind of more like electronic sounding, you know. Anyways, he was an inspiration for me making music because I don't know, I just like the way his music sounds and stuff. And when I started making music, that's kind of the stuff I tried to emulate, you know. And of course, like the soundtrack to the Silent Hill, the Akira Yakamoa, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I have to look it up. I'm not even trying to spell it, but it was another situation. I remember I got inspired by him too because I remember reading that when he started making the music, he was working at Konami or something like that, and they just asked for him to make a soundtrack, but he didn't exactly have like a huge, like, he didn't like a big catalog of experience, you know. It's one of those things where he's like the right place at the right place at the right time, and a lot of his music relies on a lot of loops and stuff. For someone to get into making music the first time around, it's like the barrier to entry is a little bit lower because, you know, you're kind of like, oh, I can use loops, you know, I know what loops are, but and they're easy to work with. And eventually, you just keep making more and more music till it gets to a point where you want to do your own kind of complete original compositions and stuff. And I don't really use loops anymore. I do sometimes just to add a little bit of texture in the background, but it's not like the forefront of the song or anything. Now I do a lot of programming of the drums myself, especially, you know, if I did use loops, it would be for the drums. But now that I've been practicing the drums, I actually have a lot more insight into how to program my own drums. Because before, honestly, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know the difference between, like, you know, the bell on the hi-hat versus this hi-hat, or the ride is versus a cymbal, you know. Now I know all that stuff, so I've been using it to my knowledge to make the music better. Donkey Kong country music is pretty dope. You know what? It is, man. It actually is like, if you were to just like listen, if you, the thing is like, if it wasn't the Donkey Kong game soundtrack, but you just listened to it, imagine it was just on a CD somewhere, you'd be like, man, this is like a weird kind of cool electronic sort of cool album, it kind of has its own thing going on, right? But you're just like, oh, it's the Donkey Kong soundtrack, so it's kind of got like this stigma of being a video game soundtrack, which is, it's, I listen to a lot of video game music. I don't really care, but it's you can't be like, hey, someone asks you what kind of music to listen to. It's like, oh yeah, I listen to the Donkey Kong soundtrack. Remember the game from Nintendo 64 like 15 years ago? I'd say that's the soundtrack. I listen to that. I mean, you can say that. I mean, I don't give a shit. I listen to video game music too. But people might look at you kind of weird, like. Maybe not so much anymore, I feel like electronic music kind of used to be kind of like for the nerds 15, 20 years ago. I remember people like making fun of people listening to techno and stuff. And I don't know, I don't think there's like, I think like electronic music is kind of just became normalized now. I use Logic Studio for my music software, and it's what I've been using for the past 15 years or so, and I don't really want to learn a new software, so I'm just gonna stick with it. And honestly, yes, Macintosh computers are expensive, but the Logic software makes up for it, because it's only like $300, and it comes with a ton. It comes with pretty much everything you need to make electronic music. And if you wanted to, if you wanted to, like, you don't need to buy any plugins really. It comes with everything. You don't need anything. It's got really good quality plugins built in. I'm not one of those guys that like collects hundreds of plugins. The plugins that I do own are things that Logic can't really do, such as like violins and stuff. So I use like Syn Strings, which is like a orchestral sort of sample pack, and violins was that sort of thing. But now I find that I use them to compose the music, but then I send the sheet music out and have it recorded live. So I use the Patreon money for that kind of stuff, and you end up having music with real instruments, and that goes a long way and kind of brings the music to life a little bit. So now you can see how this car has like a nice kind of white texture to it. It's not just filled in color. It just looks aesthetic, There's something about it. Now I gotta fill in the windows, and I think I just make them. They're probably just gonna be pink because the sky is pink, and I might just make them like reflective, This window should also be pink. Rochi, I was recommended Thomas a Thermonuclear Bomb and found your stream. Hey man, well welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't know what my channel is, it's just weird animations. So I made Thomas a Thermonuclear Bomb, and I made a whole bunch of others. You might want to check out Sonic the Hedgehog running into a chain link fence. Or if you're really looking for something to watch that's long, you can check out Interface Part 1 and Interface Part 2. And that's basically what the main thing I've been working on for the past 4 years. So it's basically a animated feature film at this point. So check it out if you're looking for something to watch. Do you reside in Montreal? Yeah, man, I live in Montreal now, so I moved here about 10 years ago. And it's just, you know, I don't know if it is anymore, but I remember when I moved here, it was affordable to live in Montreal relative to other Canadian cities. There was a little bit more jobs if you were willing to learn French, I found personally. A lot of people moved to Toronto when I moved to Montreal, and I really thought Montreal is a cool place, and you know, I'm pretty happy here. You know, for a Canadian city, I don't think I would. You know, I'm from Halifax originally. You know, but I don't know if I want to move away because I kind of like it here. You know, taxes are high and stuff. Okay, there's my car. Now the windows are not going to be that solid color, but I'm going to do that in After Effects. So. Mischief, that Mischief hoodie is a solid need, waiting for it to come back. Samuel, the underlying, it should be back. I mean, it pretty much everything in the store is continually on the store. The way Teespring works though is that it does like 3-day cycles, so it will relist after like every 3 days or something like that. It's kind of a strange way it works, honestly. But the hoodie should still be there. You just might have to look for it. Filter it by hoodie or something. Hey, Spooky Noob, thank you, man. Theola? I'm introducing my 7-year-old son to art through some of your stuff. We played through Chimney Alfonso and he loved it. He wants to play it again and try the BBQ sauce. That's so funny. That makes me happy, you know. And honestly, that's why I try to keep most of my animations like clean. You know, I feel like there's enough like gross out kind of humor on YouTube. So I don't really want to no, not that I'm trying to like make my stuff for kids, but I feel like if you can like as a parent, whatever, you can show them my stuff without worrying too much. You know, it's pretty harmless. You know, maybe Mark Zuckerberg touching himself is not so good, but some of the other stuff, most of the other stuff is fine, I think. Robotic Mark Zuckerberg touching his electrical outlet, just to be clear. Okay, let's see here. You know, well, so one of the things that inspired me too, another one of those things that, as a kid, to draw this kind of stuff. I don't know if you ever read this book called The Stinky Cheese Man, but it was like my favorite book when I was a kid. It was, and the weird thing about it is like it was a postmodernist book. Like it was this, like if you open it up and you look at the table of contents, like the table of contents was like a joke. Like they made it a joke. somehow. Like I think it like lands on top of one of the characters and gets squashed. And then there's another page where there's like like basically the Stinky Cheese Man is a bunch of children's like fairy tales, but like kind of they're like postmodernist fairy tales. Like so, they'll start off. You know how like they have that big letter in a fairy tale at the very beginning, and then this big font, right? Well, they would have like something like that, but then every line would get smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where it's like impossible to read. Anyways, if you have a 7-year-old son that like really likes animations and stuff, you should buy him the Stinky Cheese Man as like a good kid's book, because I think he'll love it, or her. Yeah, so that's my kid's book recommendation for the day. I feel like most of my fans, like I think everyone in the chat here has read the Stinky Cheese Man. I feel like you probably wouldn't be interested in UMAMI animations if you hadn't read the Stinky Cheese Man. The Stinky Cheese Man, it was like it basically like it's like it's a joke off of the Gingerbread Man, right? You know how the Gingerbread Man's like, oh, you know, I actually don't even remember how the fairy tale goes, but he's like he's trying to run away because people are trying to like eat his limbs and stuff, right? But the Stinky Cheese Man just like smells, and I'm pretty sure in the book everyone's just like, bro, no one wants to eat you because you just smell bad. And the whole time he's like, you can't catch me because I'm Stinky Cheese Man. It's just funny. I don't know. It's good. It's a good book. Wendigoon. Love the work, Shock. I just discovered it. Hey, Wendigoon. Well, thank you for the support there, and I appreciate that, man. And welcome to the channel, Wendigoon. Never heard of it, man. Okay, you have to hear of it now. Just look it up on Amazon. You could probably find it pretty cheap, I think. You don't have the Stinky Cheese Man in Norway. Damn, man. You guys need the Stinky Cheese Man. I'm telling you. If you have kids, you know, if you have a nephew, if you have anything, even if you don't have, if you have an adult man, if you have a grown adult man, you just buy him the Stinky Cheese Man. Now, I should put the Stinky Cheese Man in the description of my videos as like an Amazon affiliate link. Because I will do everything I can to get you guys to buy that book. He thinks people want him, but everyone runs away from his stench. That's so funny. Okay, there's my car. I have to draw in the background now. I think you guys are gonna really like this episode when it does come out. The animation is like really fucking bonkers. So, okay, I gotta fill this in here. Of this background layer. Just give me a second here. It's kind of tricky to draw this building. Man, okay.
One of the things I used to do, I used to be a therapist. And the kind of therapy that I did had to do with reincarnation and past life situations. And every time anybody had the experience of going into a past life, I was fortunate enough through Father to be able to let them experience it all the way through their death. So
How often have you been live streaming? I've been doing it. I do it like a couple times a month now. I don't really make it my main thing, but you know, I don't want to overdo it and like fill up people's phone notifications with live streams. You know, so that's why I just do it once in a while. Do you animate this in Photoshop? I can see a timeline down there. Yeah, so you can do animations in Photoshop, and I do a lot of basic stuff in Photoshop. Well, I can show you, for example, the Jerry exploding or expanding. Jerry, let's see where. Because I did pretty much all of that in Premiere. I mean, sorry, Photoshop. I did it in layers and like combined them in After Effects, but there's a timeline down here, and every frame is just drawn by hand, basically. I don't usually draw every frame by hand. But this particular shot I did. In the final composition, like, let's see here. Tom's flesh and then Tom's. So, this was also done, I think it was done. Yeah, I did this like by hand. But you see how the glass isn't shattering? That part was done in After Effects. So I didn't animate the glass shattering. Well, I did it in After Effects, but I didn't draw it out manually, you know? So. Some of the stuff I do, I put a lot of detail in, and I don't think it really gets noticed sometimes. Like the pumpkin, I'll show you the pumpkin animation I made a couple of years ago. Bonus videos. Let's see if I can find it. I forget what I called it. Pumpkin. Oh, this is called Pumpkin. Okay. Let's see if I can find the shot I'm looking for. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a mess now because I made this back in 2019. My file structure is a little bit better now. Let's see, I don't even know where it would be. Maybe the size. Oh yeah, okay. So I did all the mouth animations in After Effects, right? But then it gets to a point where he explodes, and it happens so quickly. But every shot has a. You can see here the different layers of detail. I think you can turn them off. But like it doesn't seem like a lot of work, but that's like I don't know, like 10 separate different drawings. So you got one here where he's like fractured, and then one where he's more exploded. And then you have to keep like it takes a long time, basically is what I'm saying. And the thing is, it's like, so there's really only like 4 frames there that has a lot of detail, but it plays back so quickly that you don't really notice it, but you do notice it subconsciously, you know. It's just, you know, if I hadn't put all that detail in there, it wouldn't look nearly as good. Anyway. Okay, let's see here. How many FPS are your... So, I use 15 frames a second because I figured it goes into 30 easily and it goes into 60 easily. So, a lot of animators actually animate at 12 frames a second. And maybe that might have been better, but I'm sticking with 15 just because everything I made is 15, so it wouldn't make sense for me to change right now, really. I don't like how thick the line is here, so I have to reduce that a bit too. Okay, so this building back here is going to be, well, it's going to be colored in. Let me just look at the reference again. I'm sorry for kind of giving spoilers, but I have to. Okay, so it's blue door, black curved roof. Okay, so actually I drew this kind of wrong. There we go. I don't know why he's got like an indoor door for his outdoor of his house, but that's just the way it is. Clip Studio Paint is actually an awesome software. If you manage to learn how to use it, I think it's probably one of the best like raster-based animation tools you can use right now. They got a whole bunch of stuff in there. Like you have like 3D models and stuff you can use for references within the software. So and it's also not very expensive. So pretty cool. Karsten, the new album is some of my favorite music at the moment. Hey man, Karsten, well thank you for that. With this No Confluence album that I put out, I feel like I kind of something like clicked in my head, and while I was making it, and I just feel a little more confident about my music production now, even after making my other stuff. I'm really happy how it turned out, and I hope that music that I make afterwards will kind of live up to the same standard. You know, some of my other music I feel like is similar. Like I really like how the Corona Wave album turned out, but it kind of feels like the Corona Wave album was almost like a capping off, like kind of a style that I had developed for a long time. And the No Confluence album is kind of feels like new territory for me because of how many live instruments it uses and that sort of thing. Oops. Okay. Let's move this over a bit. Samuel, the undying. I keep going underlying. I think Teespring had. I'll check it out, man. Yeah, I will. I'll check it out after this because I don't know. Hammy for real. Umami, I recommend listening to Molchat Doma for the same melancholic type of music. Hey, well, okay, man. Thank you for that. I will. Let me just copy that in my browser so I don't forget it later. Cool. So it's kind of going to like the music, you know, for the safe mode stuff. I really am kind of embracing more of this pure synth sound rather than all the violins and shit that I was using in Interface. I almost feel like, well, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself, but I feel like maybe I might just retain a kind of more minimal kind of music approach to safe mode. I feel like some of the music in Interface got a little bit too much at times, and it kind of took away from it a little bit. You know, as much as I like Interface episode 23, and the music is kind of crazy, right? It's but I feel like sometimes maybe less is more, you know, and I like the music on its own, but yeah, I don't know. With safe mode, I'm gonna try to keep things a little bit more reserved when it comes to the music, and if I do make something that's kind of crazy, I'll just release it separately, you know. Yeah, I'm liking how the grass looks now. I wasn't so sure at first, but now it's looking better. So, hey, I guess the new season of Survivor's on. I don't know if any of you guys like watching Survivor, but it's like one of the only reality shows I watch. It's kind of like a tradition in my family to watch Survivor, so I'm gonna be watching that tonight. You know, they apparently you can have Canadians on that show now, so. Maybe next year I'll try to apply to be on Survivor. That'd be funny. Watch how I. My uncle actually applied to be on the show once. Just be fun. I don't know, man. I just something about that show. I just like watching. It's just kind of like. It's just a. It's to me, it doesn't seem like the other reality shows so much. I mean, there's drama and shit, but it's not like it's more like strategy, you know. However, I will say that they I don't know if any of you guys are watching that, but they kind of have like too many wild cards now, like too many what do you call them? Things that you can find, advantages and that sort of thing, and it kind of throws the strategy a little bit out the window when like. It's like so many of these like advantages hidden everywhere. Hey, I'll have to go deliver pizza. Don't hurt yourself. Hey, man. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, and talk to you next time. How do you feel about Boston Rob? I'm kind of indifferent to him. You know, I tend to actually like some of the more controversial characters on the show. If only for the reason that they bring like entertainment value to the show. Like, what was that guy that owned like an oil rig that was on it? Hans or whatever. The first season he was pretty good. I don't know what the second one he kind of just laid around a bit. Boston Rob, man, I think they like. he's like on the show too much now. He's okay, but I feel like they gotta give other people a chance to be on the show. He's been on like freaking how many times? Like 6 or 7 times. It's ridiculous. And I wish they would have a little bit more wacky characters. I remember there was one guy that used to wear these like pink panties, and it would just like annoy the shit out of everyone on camp. You need more like wacky people on that show, man. What was I rooting for last time? It's kind of hard because I find that a lot of the people that I root for, they end up getting voted out like within the first half of the season, and then the second half I'm just kind of like watching it, but not really rooting for anyone, you know. Bright side, hey man, been producing while watching Interface on silent for the past few days and have really made some great stuff. Really appreciate the incredible inspiration. Hey dude, that's awesome to hear. I'm really happy to hear that. That's an interesting way to work, you know. I never thought about that. You know, usually for me, when I get inspiration, it's from listening to other music and then drawing. And then I guess you could have like musical inspiration by watching something else and then producing your own music, like the opposite, you know? That's kind of a cool way to work. Okay. All right, there's a little bit too much darkness in the grass down here, so let me just touch this up a bit if I can. That's better. Okay. So I don't know what should be in the background here, because from all other angles of this neighborhood or whatever, I haven't really drawn what is ever... Oh, actually, no, that's not true. Hold on, let me just take a look here. Oh yeah, there is a... there's like cylinder buildings back there. But they would kind of be over here, though. Maybe I'll draw something else over here. This is like a panning shot. It kind of like starts up here and pans down. Or it's a tilting shot. Not a panning shot. No. I'm gonna merge that all together now because I don't need to change it. Wonder if that looks any good. I don't like it. Get rid of that shit. I might put a windmill back there or something. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the windmill on a separate layer. In a separate file, actually, because, and I'll just do it in After Effects, because what I want to do is have a windmill and then put more of them in the background, but then I don't want to have to like draw it every time, so that's, my shot's coming together. Vuk, I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but is there any link where you can listen to my music that I made? If you have Spotify, you can find it on Spotify. But you know what? Let me just go give you a link to my website for my music, and you can find the Spotify through that, or you can just listen to you can actually listen to the music on the site. That's my music site, and the music is a lot of the music albums are free. I think the Corona Wave ones are free to download, and the latest No Confluence ones are free. The interface ones are not free though, because they cost quite a bit of money to produce. So, gotta recoup some of that, but. Actually, the No Confluence one actually kind of cost me some money too, because I hired all those musicians. But I just wanted to give it out for free because all this shit going on in the world right now. Hey, you'll be at my event in Portland. Hey, thank you, Ma. I appreciate that. I will not be there myself. You know, unfortunately, I can't go. I have a lot of stuff going on this week, but it should be pretty cool. It's gonna be the whole gallery is gonna be like my stuff and free admission. So yeah. But by the way, if anyone is in Portland, Oregon, this Friday and is looking for something to do, all my animations are gonna be in a gallery called. Yeah, I'll post the link again. Well, actually, just go to my community page and you'll see the latest post. It's Mizaji Gallery, which is kind of like they specialize in like digital artists and that sort of thing. All right, you know what? I think I'm gonna call it a day because I'm almost can't focus. I got a pretty good drawing done for now. I will be using later. So that's it. For now, thank you everyone for hanging out with me today, and for those who have super chatted, those who have just wanted to say hello. I might be doing I might be going somewhere in a couple weeks, so I don't know how active I'll be on my channel, but hopefully soon I can get the next episode of Safe Mode out. Alright everyone, thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you all next time.
You're watching UMAMI.